Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, in this video right here, I'm gonna be an idiot like a lot of you guys in the YTBC, and as you guys can see by the title, you know, I'm going there. I'm going there because there's no reason to not go there. Now, as it's been said in the interview, because today was the Kovalev versus Ward press conference. Andre Ward did an interview with the big channel, DS News, Dante's Boxing Nation. They're not Dante's Boxing Voice, DS News. The ones that are usually based in New York. And Gennady Golovkin's name came up once again. Gennady Golovkin is not involved in this fight, but it came up once again. So someone asked him. They said, Andre, because Virgil Hunter recently came out and he said out of his own mouth, Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward's trainer, said that, hey, Andre Ward can still make 168. And if Golovkin goes to 168, Andre Ward is super middleweight. So we'll make the fight happen. And then I know not too long after that, Tom Loeffler, Golovkin's promoter of K2 Promotions, said that, hey, if Dre wants to come to 168, should we go there? We'll go to 168. So this is probably like one of the most talked about topics in the YTBC, and I often don't touch on it. I think I might have touched on it one time or another, but I really don't touch on it that often because it's ridiculous, honestly. Because it's funny, a lot of you Andre Ward fans, you guys don't know how to use your head. You don't. That's the simple fact of the matter. One of the reasons I don't like Andre Ward is the same reason I don't like, the New York Mets or the Miami Heat or a lot of teams in sports that I don't like. It's because of the fans. He's some really retarded fans, and then his fighting style, which I'm not a big fan of. I think he has to box outside the rules to just give himself a fair chance to win. But that's what it is. So, Virgil Hunter came out and said that Ward can still make 168. And when the question was asked to Ward himself, Ward then came back and he said, I can't make 168. I'm going to stay at 175. Because it's no secret that Ward is a big guy. He walks around. His walk-around weight is probably, he's definitely pushing at least 200 pounds, his walk-around weight. And he's always been a natural light heavyweight, so I don't get why he gets all his credit for moving up, because in the Olympics, he was a light heavyweight. Meanwhile, while Golovkin is not a big middleweight, and he's been dominating guys who, for the most part, have either been, a lot of guys in many cases have been bigger than him. So, with that being taken into account, let's count it for what it is. I saw after Virgil Hunter said this thing about Gennady Golovkin or Ward moving back down to 168 to fight Gennady Golovkin. A lot of the people who are Ward fans, they started waving their pom-poms and saying, Ward will still go to 168. Ward is the best. Ward is pound number one. Golovkin ducks him. Golovkin wants no part of him. But then when it came time to ask Ward again, will he go back to 168? Ward said, nope, I can't make 168. So let's count it for what it is. And yes, it is the second time. Andre Ward ducked Gennady Golovkin. And now you're saying, well, Brennan, how could he duck Gennady Golovkin? You don't know shit about boxing. Because I can just see it coming in my comment section. But he did, because, and you guys can go on and on all you want about, oh, well, Abel Sanchez said 154 to 168, but when it's Andre Ward at 168, he didn't want to fight Andre Ward. Well, guess what? Okay? Now, Andre Ward, let's say that was the best and most attractive option for Gennady Golovkin, which, by the way, if we're talking 2013 around that time, it wasn't, because I'm pretty sure you still had Carl Froch out there. He's a bigger name. They can sell more tickets. Remember, boxing is a business. You guys like to throw that term around when it's convenient, but not when it comes to, your boy Andre Ward, who can't even sell out his own living room and is not even a household name in his own household. But that's besides the point. Gennady Golovkin had better options than Andre Ward. If the fight was there was that fight, he would go down 154 for that. Canelo was always a better option. Froch was always a better option. To be fair, Ward was probably always, from a business standpoint, and boxing is a business, so we got to throw that term around again, because you guys like to throw that term around when it's convenient for you. He's probably the fourth most attractive option, honestly, from a business standpoint. Now, if you guys remember, back in 2013, this is when this all really started. Gennady Golovkin was dominating middleweights. He had just come to America. And he was getting ready to fight Gabriel Rosado, and Andre Ward was there. I believe he was working with HBO doing commentary. And in the 2 days documentary, there's a part where Gennady Golovkin and Andre Ward are in the same room during his fighter meeting for the Gabriel Rosado fight. And Gennady Golovkin is asked a question. He said, "Hey, look, would you fight Andre Ward? Is that a fight that you would be keen on in the future?" And he said, "For me, Andre Ward is the best super middleweight champion, and yes, for the future, that's a great fight." That's all he said. And then, as the years have went by, all these things come out about how Tom Loeffler and Gennady Golovkin and Abel Sanchez, how they're lying to the people, and that they never wanted to fight him, and that Ward's team made an offer, and all this nonsense. I mean, this is coming from the same guy who said that, the winner of the Super 6 should fight Lucien Boutte, and then when he won the Super 6, he ducked Lucien Boutte. This is the same guy who was caught up in a lawsuit, in a dispute, trying to break contract with his now deceased promoter, Dan Goosen, R.I.P. He tried to break contract with Dan Goosen multiple times, and it was dismissed in court. He lost in court multiple times. So, with that being taken into account, the fact that he ducked a guy that he himself said he should have fought, and the fact that he sued a promoter that did nothing but put him in the best situation to be successful in the sport of boxing, which is a very hard sport to be successful in because you need a good promoter to be successful. Put him in this tournament, where he basically had home field advantage almost every fight. By all accounts, Dan Goosen, I believe, maximized Andre Ward. He for what Andre Ward is in and out the ring, a guy that in the ring is super boring, and out the ring, he's a good family. He seems to be he comes off as a really good family man. And that's not always the most appealing thing to people outside boxing. You kind of want a bad guy who kind of acts wild, which I don't get mad at Ward when he says it's how come guys who are soft spoken don't get more love. I actually kind of agree with him on that. But as far as his in the ring fighting style, generally does not sell outside of hardcore boxing fans. And even among hardcore boxing fans, a lot of people don't like Andre Ward. I know there's a lot of people that do like Andre Ward, but I know there's a lot of people who don't like Andre Ward. And Goosen, I believe, brought Ward further than pretty much any promoter could have brought him. With that Super 6 tournament, with getting him to pound for pound number 2, with pretty much making him a name, despite the fact that Ward doesn't have a knockout style, despite the fact that Ward's not a ridiculously great, flamboyant, boisterous personality, which traditionally is what sells in boxing. He didn't have the knockout punch, he didn't have the aggressive style, nor did he have the boisterous personality, but yet he was still able to make him somewhat of a name and a figure in boxing, which I think is to be said for. And then Ward turns around and tries to sue him, and he was caught up in a dispute for about a year and a half or so, and he didn't fight at all in 2014. He only fought once in 2013, and only fought once in 2015, so he was not an active fighter. And when he came back in 2015, he fought Paul Smith at a catchweight, and then he kind of made that was his unofficial light heavyweight debut. But the thing is, what I'm getting at is, Ward was really never an option for Gennady Golovkin, if you really think about it, because when Gennady Golovkin was blowing through everybody at 160, and all this came up about, will you fight Andre Ward in January of 2013 in that fighter meeting, Ward was caught up in, he was, caught up in a legal dispute with his promoter, and he wasn't active, and he only fought one time that year, and he was, and then once he actually did start getting active, then it was, okay, well, he couldn't make 168 anymore, and then he wound up moving to 175 or 172, because I believe that's where he fought Paul Smith at. So even when he came back, he wasn't an option for Golovkin. But then people who don't like Golovkin for whatever, for obvious reasons, and they just want to hate on what the man's been able to do, and not look at the facts. They say, oh, well, he ain't fighting nobody, he ducked Ward. He never ducked Ward. How could you say he ducked Ward? Or how could you say he's ducked anybody, really, when there's very few fighters? I think maybe Lomachenko and probably Romo Gonzalez. Those are probably the only two fighters who I think have beaten as many top 10 fighters in the last 5 years as Gennady Golovkin. I mean, I know Ward had his little run 5 years ago, but I'm talking about, in recent memory, there really has been too many people who have beaten as many top 10 fighters and dominated in such fashion like Golovkin has. I'm not talking about when you get a narrow, close decision and you did enough to win the fight. No. I'm talking about leaving it unquestionable, knocking people out. And for the first time in 23 fights, we saw a guy in Daniel Jacobs who fought the way he needed this fight to give himself the best chance to win, but he didn't. I haven't watched it. I thought he beat Golovkin initially, but when I really sit back and think about it, it's more of like, okay, yeah, he was elusive and yeah, he had his moments, but did he really take the belt from the champion, which you're supposed to do in boxing? No, he didn't. So he beat Jacobs. I still gotta go back and watch the fight, but people wanted to give him a lot of flack for the Jacobs fight, and Ward ducked Golovkin, honestly, in my personal opinion, because if it was really such a priority, if he really wanted that Golovkin fight, it was a very easy fight to make. All he had to do was not sue his promoter and try to break contract, which is number one. A promoter who put him in the best situation to be successful time and time again. Not sue his promoter. Accept the terms, because Golovkin, from a business standpoint, was the bigger draw. Even back in 2013, when he was selling out the small room in Madison Square Garden, he was still a bigger draw than Andre Ward, because Andre Ward, and this is not me hating on him, these are just undisputed facts. He has never been a big draw, even inside of his own hometown of Oakland, California. I know people who live there, and I know people who have gone to his fights who say, hey, BT, the arena's half empty. BT, the freaking tickets are on Groupon, and when I checked in, they were. With his fight for Alexander Brand, the tickets were on Groupon. If you really wanted to go to Andre Ward's fight, you could have went for 50% off. Now, this is not me hating on him. This is just fact. At best, Andre Ward was, from a business standpoint in boxing, Golovkin's fourth best option, because you had Canelo, you had Froch, you had Mayweather. Those are money fights. And GG's not a young guy, so I can understand why you want to take one of those fights over Andre Ward. Now, from a boxing standpoint, could Ward even beat Golovkin? I mean, look, I know what you guys are gonna say. Well, he's too big for GGG. Which is fine. You can say that all you want, but Ward, it's no secret that Andre Ward's boxing style, he has like a rugby football player style of boxing. He smothers you, he throws elbows, he's a very dirty fighter, and that's the only way he'd beat Golovkin. If it came down to straight throwing your fist and who's better punch for punch, he ain't beating Gennady Golovkin. Simple as that. You look at Kovalev, go back and watch the Kovalev knockdown. How did the knockdown happen? The knockdown happened because Kovalev had a better control of the distance, and when they got inside of each other and they both went to go throw the punches, Kovalev's a sharper puncher because his punches are more shorter and more compact than Andre Ward's. So that's why the knockdown happened in the first place. And fortunately for Ward, he had smothered the power being close enough to Kovalev to where Kovalev really couldn't extend and get that full force behind it, which allowed him to get up. Had it been from a longer range and Kovalev really got that extension on it, Ward would have been out cold. So he was very fortunate in that fight to not be knocked out. But that's besides the point. As far as throwing hands and being the better boxer, as far as punching, we're in the sport of punching to begin with. Ward ain't beating Golovkin. He ain't a better puncher than Golovkin. I'm not just talking about power. I'm talking about punch placement. I'm talking about punch mechanics. I'm talking about fluidity, all that stuff. Andre Ward just doesn't have what it takes to beat Gennady Golovkin, which is why he never fought him in the first place. Which is why, if he really wanted to fight him, he would have accepted the terms to fight a 164 catchweight. He would have not been in an illegal dispute with his promoter. He would have said, "Hey, let me swallow my pride and let me take this fight before I get out try to get my contract with my promoter." But no, did he do that? No, he didn't. All he did was sit on his behind, sue his promoter, point the finger at other people, and when he came back, he was 2 weight classes above Golovkin, and that's what it was. Golovkin's trying to make history and be an undisputed champion at middleweight, something we haven't had in quite some time, something that Ward has never done. He's never cleaned out a division. Never. People give him credit for it, but he didn't clean out 168. He didn't beat Andre Durrell. He didn't beat Lucien Bute, guys who are top flight guys in the division who, Durrell got robbed in the crotch fight, and Bute, he ducked Bute, so that's what it is. And I believe he vacated to avoid fighting one of the Durrells. I don't know if it was Andre Anthony, but he vacated one of his belts to avoid fighting one of the Durrells as well. So That's what it was there. But he was never an option for Gennady Golovkin from a business standpoint. He's probably the fourth best option. I'm going to say it again. Andre Ward has always been a light heavyweight. I mean, for crying out loud, he campaigned at light heavyweight in the Olympics. So he gets all his credit for moving up and fighting Kovalev. Is it really moving up if you're really naturally that weight anyway and you walk around like 200 pounds? I mean, come on. Let's look at it for what it is, not what we want it to be. Andre Ward ducked Gennady Golovkin, and it's simple as that. Golovkin has, a lot of you guys, Golovkin has beaten more top 10 fighters than just about anybody in boxing. And he's done it in dominant fashion, leaving no questions asked. And he's arguably the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, right there with Lomachenko. And even if you guys want to put Ward there, he's right there with Ward. I think he has more of a case than Ward due to his dominance in the division. Something he's dominated more at 160 than Ward did at 168. So that's what it is. And once again, his trainer's words and his words aren't matching up. So something's wrong here. And I hope you guys that love Ward can see that for what it is. Verge said 168. Andre Ward says no. So that's what it is. He's a ducking Golovkin. He don't want those problems. I get it. Go fight Kovalev. Best of luck to you. But just wanted to get that out there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure I'll get some great comments and a lot of dislikes. But that's what we get when we talk about Andre Ward on YouTube. It's funny. YouTube is the only place where people like Andre Ward. I was telling my friend this. I'm like, man, because one of my friends who doesn't even watch boxing. He's like, oh, Andre Ward is like really popular, right? I'm like, yeah, on YouTube, nobody else really cares much about Andre Ward. And he laughed about it, but it's true. Only place people care about Andre Ward is on YouTube. So, and then when it comes time to buy his fights and go to his fights, y'all don't even support your man, which is kind of sad, because I actually think Ward should get more support. But you guys don't give him that support. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from being here. So until next time, take care, guys.